Okay, everybody, we are coming on live. It's just connecting us up really quickly right now. I'm not sure if you can see us yet, so we're going to start in just about 10 seconds. I just want to confirm that you guys can see us. Hold on one second. I am so excited for today. We have a very, very special guest. Okay, cool. We are live. So, hi everybody in the One Thought Away Challenge. I've had so much fun the past week bringing on some of women that are just like so close to my heart now, that I adore, that I just am like awe-inspired by how much they have stood up to claim the life that they really want, be the women that they want to be, have the life that they really want. And it's just so exciting to share their stories. Sometimes I can sit here and I can talk, but it really helps to hear what's possible when you hear it from somebody who is in your shoes or was just in your shoes a couple months ago. So with that being said, I'm super excited today to introduce Krissy Higgs. Hi, Krissy.
Hi, everybody. I'm excited to be here.
Oh my God, we're gonna have so much fun. I love these conversations. So, Krissy, so can you just share a little bit, how did you find me? Anyways, I'm not even sure. Was it a Facebook ad or? Oh, it was a friend.
It was Greta.
It was Greta.
Yeah. She had just come back from the Believe event.
Yeah.
And I was traveling on the road, and she called me and she's like, okay, I've got to share something. She had actually talked to me because Caprice had invited her, and I couldn't go down to the Believe event because I was going to be traveling. But she called me and just shared some things, I mean, huge things that happened for her at that event. And she just said, I think this could be really good for you. And I wasn't ready to jump on there was a lot of noise going on in my life.
Right.
But I'm very much into personal growth. I'm going through that stage right now. So she kind of planted a seed.
Yeah. And it takes a good friend. Like I always think, you're the lucky one that was on Greta's radar, that she loves you enough that she wanted to share this conversation with you. Believe event, Unshakable Confidence, Perfect Health Mastery, right? Like we're the lucky ones that people loved us enough to actually say, hey, there's something important here, and I'm standing for you in your life, right?
Right. Blessed. Yeah. Very blessed.
Very blessed. You're getting lots of hellos from Donna, Norma. Awesome, you guys. Yeah, as you come on, say hello. So can you share with us a little bit? I mean, you've only been with us since March, right? I guess it's been a little over, I was thinking 3 months, but maybe, I guess it's more now. This year has been so crazy.
It's crazy. Don't even know what month it is.
This year's been so crazy. So, so you haven't been with us since March. You've been with us since.
I started Unshakable Confidence
in August or July.
July, and then that catapulted me to taking the next step after that.
Perfect Health Mastery, your group started in August, so you really have been with us for just a few months. Greta started with us in March.
Correct.
So can you share with us, like, what's happened in a few short months? And maybe you can share, you don't have to go in all the details, that's up to you. If you want to, you can, absolutely. But share where you were, how you were feeling before you found this work, before Greta shared it with you. And did you have any resistance going into Unshakable Confidence, or what was happening for you?
Where I was at that point, I was in survival mode. Been in survival mode for many, many, many years. Got myself out of a situation, emotional abuse type thing and I knew to become the best me, I had to do some work. And I mean, you can do counseling and all that stuff, and I've done that before in my past, a long time ago. And I've done, little conferences here and there, and self-help groups and all that stuff. So I'm a big component to digging deeper. But I have to say that, I mean, I'm so blessed that I found you, in the sense that it's a journey when you pull the onion back. And you can't just do it in an hour session. You can't just do it over a weekend thing. Now, I'm not saying that doesn't contribute to your growth. But the Unshakable Confidence, first of all, I had, like I said, Greta had planted the seed. So I'd started getting some emails, and obviously you're popping up. So I was looking more into it. And then when I jumped on the Unshakable Confidence, you shared your story, and I could really, really relate to where your old story was. And I was looking at what your new story was. And I remember saying to my mom, I want that. I want that. And I think I found the person that can help me get there. And the resistance I had was just monetary. So, but I knew in order to, this is like you've said it before, there are no dress rehearsals.
Right. Like this is our life. This isn't a dress rehearsal. This is actually our life.
Yeah. And the other thing that, I knew I was stuck, and I knew I was in survival mode. Originally, what I was looking at Unshakable Confidence was to help me business-wise, because I've been laid off, and that's just a whole different story. But I know I'm totally capable of things, but I know that there's a wall there, and to break through it, I know it's all about the one thought away that you talk about. It's, I've been to many, many, many different things where it's all about mindset, and I get that. But if you don't have really the support system to clean out the closet and start fresh, and this platform has just, in the short amount of time, it's just been mind-boggling how much progress I know I'm making.
So much progress in just a couple months. Yeah.
And I'm a lone wolf. So for me, for me to do this, and even like just this last week, I've not been able to lean in a lot because of what's going on everyday things, but because of the conditioning that I've already had over the past couple months. I've got different things going in my ears. And I could go on and on. So, but it's just been great. I'll save some more stories for your next questions.
Well, so this is good because I think, in this day and age, it's super easy to get online and listen to a quick masterclass or a webinar, or it's easy to get our hands on a book or an audio book. In this day and age, like information, this is the information age, right? And and I've heard this from some of the women in One Thought Away challenge. They're now a few weeks, the challenge has been over for a few weeks. And I've heard this from some of the women that, oh, I'll just use what I learned from the challenge. That'll be enough. And I'm like, I'm so glad the challenge gave you, the free 5-day challenge gave you so much value, but that's not enough. That's just an eye opener so that you can see what's possible and that there's a totally different conversation waiting for you. And so can you speak into that? Like,
absolutely.
How was this? I think you spoke really beautifully into how this was different. You tried canceling, you did all these other things, but it's our community and our processes and our strategy that really has helped you start to crack the code. Finally, after years of trying to, you now are in a few months. But also, can you speak into this piece, like you just started to talk about, where it does take consistency, long-term consistency, and Unshakable Confidence is only 4 weeks. Like, again, that's the next step, but then Perfect Health Mastery, which is that year-long program, right?
Right. Yeah. And so I wrote down a few notes because, so like I was just saying, this last week was crazy for me, but even just you inviting me to come and chat on here, it pulled me away from my regular everyday kind of stuff going on.
Okay.
And I was able to go, all right, let's stop and think, which I'm doing more anyway, but even just this, which I haven't done before. And then of course I listen to the other gals that get on and stuff, but that was one of the things. I the benefits, I mean, you get multiple coaches. And, as a parent, I remember always, you tell your kids something and they don't really hear it, but you tell it, you ask a coach, hey, this is what I'm trying to work on, whatever they tell you, and they hear it. So that's where I look at this is, yeah, we get all this valuable stuff from you, but I've got Alyssa, I've got, Carmen, but then I've got also everybody else going through their journey. And so when there's a time, I remember when I think it was not on the Unshakable Confidence where you had said, okay, something about remember your success from before. And I've been successful in my past, but I was at a point where I'm like, nothing. I have nothing. I couldn't draw from where my successes were in the past, but what ended up happening is I opened up and I said that, where normally lone wolf, I would have just kind of probably gone, oh, well, beat yourself down just a little bit more. And the reason why I bring that up is because then someone else would say something in some of the breakouts. And I'm thinking, oh, okay. Yeah. And it reminds me, or another learning experience has been where someone will share their really challenging thing. And it also just opens up another door where I kind of peek in and think, is there something there that I need to address? Because I'm in this to get to the other side. I want to be the best me. And the only person holding me back has been me, and so I'm very grateful to learn from other people's journey as well, because I think there are nuggets in every aspect of this journey. And again, it's a journey. It's not something that I can just do overnight. I mean, it's funny, when I first came on board, I'm thinking, okay, this is why I'm coming on. And even within the journey, all of a sudden I'm like, oh, okay, you know what? I think I need to deal with this. I remember calling in on clicking whatever #2, like raising my hand. And I remember you saying, okay, what do we want to talk about here? And I'm like, I have no idea. I have no idea, but I'm just leaning in because this is something I don't do and something's going to come from it. And hence, like this event, I don't normally do this kind of stuff. So, but I feel very honored and grateful that you asked me to raise your hand to do this, because I know more is to come on the other side of this that I wouldn't get if I weren't here. So.
Yes, you've learned to be coachable and take the stretch and not be a lone wolf. Sue Holland says, that's me. I can't recall any times I've been successful. Yeah, so Sue, I'm glad you're in Unshakable Confidence. Celebration is a huge part of the journey. So it's really good that we get to start to shift that for you. Donna McCain, Krissy, you have worked so hard and come so far. So happy for you. Lone wolf sister here. Support is so very, very important. I'm learning this too. Yeah. So a lot of women are resonating with you. And so can you share, because you said that you had, like, going into Unshakable Confidence, you had a money objection, like, can I afford it, or whatever that conversation was. It probably came out as, can I afford it? But really underneath the money conversation, it's really about, do I deserve it? It's a worthiness conversation, right? And so you raised your hand, you jumped, you came into Unshakable Confidence, even though you felt scared, even though you had resistance. You knew that staying where you were would be more painful than jumping and just figuring it out and facing the fear. And then you moved on to Perfect Health Mastery, our 1-year coaching program, which is a larger investment, clearly, because it's a year. So, and you did it anyways, even though you like, what happened for you? in regards to the money conversation, that objection, that mindset, what opened up for you in Unshakable Confidence that then allowed you to honor yourself and you having the life that you really want?
I'm still in that spot where, I can go to worrying about how financially things are going to work out, but to be my best me, you've got to invest in that. And I have 56 years of where I am now. Mm-hmm. So that's a lot of unraveling, shall we say.
Yeah.
And and I truly believe we're born to thrive, and in order to do that, you have to tear down the walls. And sometimes it takes it's like you on the cliff jumping off.
Yep.
And I can totally relate to that. And again, I thought I was going into, certain things for my career, because I've always kind of put my head around things that I thought I can control, which there was chaos going on in there. And repetitively, I would end up with the same type of boss or same type of situation. So it was a much deeper rooted thing. So, what do they say? The insanity, doing the same thing over and over and over and over.
The definition of doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result is the definition of insanity. Yeah.
And I know I've been given a lot with my skill set and everything from God and everything. So I just felt like, no, I have to trust that, and sometimes reaching out, and that's what we're supposed to do, is reach out and blind faith.
Yeah. And I do say, I really do believe, like, even for myself, this work has been part of my faith walk. I've said that to myself for, I don't know how many years, probably like 10 years. Well, Carrie, this is part of your faith walk, right? And I see it in the women in our tribe as well. When they first come to us, after people have done work with us for a while and they see the massive results in themselves and their tribe sisters, then it's easy to keep raising your hand, easier to keep raising your hand and being that yes to yourself, because you now have a different foundation under your feet in regards to, who am I and what do I deserve? But in the beginning, man, for everybody, I would say 9.9 out of 10 women, if you could divide up a woman, almost everybody, it is a jump. It is a leap of faith. It is a jump off of that black rock. She's referring to a story. I was in Hawaii and I jumped off. I did some cliff jumping and I was terrified. It's a long story. I'm not going to go into the whole story, but I was terrified to do it. Yeah, it's a really good one. I was terrified to jump, and I had declined the opportunity 20 years later, and I had created a story for myself in my head. See, Carrie, you're not good enough. See, you can't do hard things. See, and then I found myself in front of that cliff 20 years later, which was a year ago almost. And I jumped because I was like, I get to jump this time. I get to have the opportunity. I get to prove my monkey mind wrong. And I jumped, and it was so fun. And I was totally okay. The jump itself was scarier. Like right before the jump was scarier than the jump. And then after I jumped, it ended up being this beautiful result that was waiting for me. And then the next day, just like Greta, how she invited you into the conversation, Krissy, the next day I went back, I brought friends to the cliff, and I stood for them to understand who they get to be, the strength and the power and the courage that is in them. And they jumped, and they got to expand their thinking and their possibilities. And many of these people are quite famous, quite well known, and they were scared to jump, right? They were scared to jump. And but that's what it takes. It takes a tribe. It takes a community to believe in you when we don't, like, if we have a gap in believing in ourselves or trusting the process, then one of the beautiful things about a strong community is we can borrow that belief from somebody else, right, Krissy? Like, what's your experience been on that?
You know, with the beautiful thing with just this whole experience is I feel like it's fast tracking my growth.
That's awesome.
And you can't do that by yourself. You can't, because like I said, I'm learning from other people's growths. That's digging a little bit deeper and pulling back more of the onion. And so it is just pushing me further and further and further. And which is, it's been really fun, because now it's not so much the survival mindset, it's a growth mindset.
Yes.
And you know, and I've had a lot of like reading and all that stuff, but now I'm seeing like a lot of things that I've taken before are connecting and even making it go faster with this constant like support system. You know, people are supporting me through my journey, but also I get to support them, and I also get something from that. So it's been mind-boggling. And I don't know if I'm really answering the question there, but it's just, I think it fast tracks everything. And it's just been the group kind of mentality. Like when I listen in, I'm able to just kind of, oh, does that trigger me? And like in one of my last conversations with Coach Alyssa, you know, I brought up something that normally I wouldn't. I'm like, okay, this is kind of like really interesting, and it's got me kind of curious. And she says, oh, well, what about this? You know, and then I'm realizing, maybe this is what I need to do in other areas of my life. So like I said, it's fast tracking me in ways that I couldn't have done it reading a book. I just couldn't.
I love that. That is actually awesome. Like this fast tracks your results, right? Like it's not something you can get from a book or an hour masterclass or a 5-day free challenge. It just isn't. It's more. And Jocelyn says, thank you for being vulnerable and sharing your courageous story. Sharon says, I'm striving to be the best person I can be emotionally, spiritually, and physically. I have the ability to work on this and thrive. Yes, Sharon, I'm so glad that you're in Unshakable Confidence. We're going to master that. Jocelyn, I'm so glad you're in Perfect Health Mastery. You, Jocelyn, oh my gosh, you have grown so much, right? Norma says, I can do this. I can be the fabulous lady I want to be. Thanks to you and Alyssa and this lovely tribe. Yeah, great. So with that being said, Krissy, as we wrap this up, what would you want to say? Last words to those women who are sitting on the fence with Unshakable Confidence. And doors close Monday, ladies. Monday, midnight Pacific Standard. And when they're closed, they're closed. These babies are coming out of my tummy in a few months, so we're not going to run Unshakable Confidence again. I'm just going to be focusing on our clients that are in our current programs. So you really do want to jump on this. This isn't a marketing scheme. I have 2 twins in my belly, and this is the real deal. So what would you want to say to those women who are still sitting on the fence for Unshakable Confidence and Perfect Health Mastery? Actually, what would you want to say to them? And what would you want to say if, you know, because they're probably sitting on the fence because there's some fear. They have some fear of, I don't have enough time or energy, or I'm a strong starter, but not a strong finisher, or I don't have the money. There's something going on for them. What would you want to say?
What's the cost to not doing it? I mean, it's really a question only you can answer. And if you're okay with staying wherever you are longer, then, you know, that's something I couldn't do. I'm 56. I'm on the other side. So I remember being on one of the classes, I remember which one it was, like a weekend, and I just remember looking out at all the women out there, and I was so inspired by the young women that were taking a stand for themselves, and they've got little babies, you know, minor teenagers, you know, different set of juggle. But I just was so excited for them. As I tell my kids now, deal with your crap now. Because if you
Yeah.
can deal with it now, you have so much more life to live versus all the detours. And I've taken a ton of detours. Um, and still, like I said, sat in survival versus thriving. And that's the question, is that I could not sit where I was anymore. The pain was too big to sit and waste time. And right now, when we're seeing people struggle in many different ways, our responsibility is ourselves. So, and you got to do what you got to do to be the best you. And for me, this has been just mind blowing. So I'm excited for everybody in here.
Me
Really
too.
am.
I'm so excited. And so I think that's a really good place to leave it. What Krissy just said, what is it costing you to not do the work? What is it costing you to not just jump off that black rock cliff into the beautiful warm ocean? Like what is it costing you to stay at? And getting intimate with that. Oh my gosh, it's costing me my health. Oh my gosh, it's costing me my confidence in myself, my self-esteem. It's costing me promotions at work. It's costing me finding the love of life. It's costing my marriage because I'm constantly jealous and bitter, or whatever that is. It's costing me having a good parenting relationship, or having a family, or a good grandparenting relationship. So getting intimate with what is it costing you is a really great, what is it costing me, is a great question to ask yourself. And then what do I really want? And knowing that this could absolutely help streamline your process, just like it did with Krissy, streamline your process to get what you really want. But you got to meet me halfway. You got to meet Krissy halfway. You got to meet the tribe. You got to meet the coaching team halfway, and what that means is getting off the fence, raising your hand, and being that yes. We will give you everything we've got. And I think you guys probably know, we will walk to the ends of the earth for you. We will over deliver. We will give you everything we've got, but you raise your hand and be a yes and meet us halfway. So if this is you, if you want more information, message me or message support@padino.com. I will also put the link to Unshakable Confidence. I'm going to put it in the comment section and the description of this video. I actually, if anything resonated with you from this conversation with Krissy, just click the link and go save your spot. There's still some bonuses, lots of bonuses that are available. The doors close Monday, midnight Pacific Standard Time. And when they close, they close. So jump in now. I don't want you to miss this. Krissy doesn't want you to miss this. We want you in our family. So with that being said, thank you so much, Krissy. This is so fun to just be here with you and see you shine and see you get celebrated and honored. You've worked so hard the past couple months, and it's just, your growth has been exponential because you've been willing, even though it was uncomfortable as a lone wolf, you continue to stretch yourself and take the coaching and lean in, and you're open to it, right? Like, even if it's okay, well, I'll sit with that, I'll sit with that, process that, and take action. And that's why it's happening for you. That's why, you know what I'm talking about, but all the areas in your life, why it's coming together is because you stand in your yes now. So I want to acknowledge and celebrate that.
Can I tell one story which will show just a little different element, talking about fear? So I remember once on a call talking to Coach Alyssa, and I shared something, and I told her, I'm like, I don't want to go and share this with the rest of the team. I'm just not I'm not comfortable with the feedback that's going to come back. And she says, that's fine. She says, you can just share it with the coaches and everything. So it's not like you have to share everything and whatever, but you've got to support level, whatever you need. But what was really interesting about that whole thing is I ended up later on, last minute, sharing it all. Just bleh. And that's so not me. And I mean, I was even told, you don't have to do this, but I got to the point where I felt like I had to let it go. I had to not keep it inside. And and just sharing it a little bit with someone, which I've done before my whole life. And in a little way, you're just still keeping it, because you're keeping a little bit away, but you're grabbing it all back. Well, I spit it all out, and nothing but love and support, and everything came back. So I bring that up in the sense of the journey might not be what you want or what you think it's going to be. There's always something that comes back and gives you invitations of finding ways to grow. So anyway, that story just popped into my head.
Yeah, and thank you, because if it popped up for you, there's someone who needed to hear it. I totally trust that. And so, and I remember your post. I remember when you shared it all and you put it all out on the table, and being met only in that sacred container, being met with love and acceptance. What gets to happen for us when we allow ourselves to go there and expose the lies, you're not good enough, or whatever it is, right? And share our story, what gets to happen is a new declaration gets put out in the world in regards to who am I and what am I committed to creating. Now other human beings are also energetically connected to your declaration and your new vision, which makes it more, which really does make it more of a possibility to happen. When it's just us, it's very hard. And so the beautiful that is, when we finally do share, and I think we have probably one of the safest containers ever to do this, and it is one of our genius zones, is creating sacred, safe containers. We have women who have shared things with us that they've never shared with their spouse that they've been married to for 30 years. And because it's so safe, there's such a deep level of healing that occurs, that freedom happens, right? Like, oh my gosh, I don't have to carry that cross on my back anymore, or carry it by myself, or whatever it is, right?
Right.
And a whole new level of love and freedom and possibility opens up when we
when you walk through those doors.
Yeah.
And to your point, it's like, I know now when I come to a threshold of a door that I'm gonna walk through, and I'm like, but I know that there's so much on the other side now in just the short time frame, like the fast track that it's just like coming here today. I was like, oh dear, oh my gosh, am I gonna say the right thing and whatever? And then this morning, I started getting excited because I'm at that threshold of another door. Yes. And I know from this, something else is going to come, and I'm getting closer and closer to being a better me. So.
Yes. Yeah. In those stretch moments, it's an opportunity for exponential growth, right? Exponential growth. And we had somebody else, Pam, was on here having a conversation, sharing her story yesterday, Pam, whom you know, and for her, it felt stretchy. And now she's on the other side of it too. And it's opening up a new level of confidence, a new level of generosity, right? When we share our stories and we share our breakthroughs, like you are right now, and when you share your breakdowns, like you did with us, it's generous, because other people, other women get to win by watching you get coached, by seeing you accelerate, by watching you step into your next level of potential. All the other women are winning because now they see, oh my gosh, if it happened for Krissy, well, it can happen for me too, right?
Right.
And so, yeah, powerful. Thank you for sharing that. So with that being said, ladies, we're so excited that you're here, and we're really standing for you to be a yes to yourself. And it's not even being a yes to me or being a yes to Krissy. It's not that. It's about being a yes to you. It's about being a yes to your life that you really want. It's about being a yes to becoming the woman that you want to be. And it's hard, like Krissy says, it's hard to do on your own, not because you're not smart or because you're weak or you don't have the willpower, but because you're human. Because you're human. So let's take the struggle out. Let's give you the strategies on a silver platter. You don't need to reinvent the wheel. We've invented it. And just like what Krissy said, let's streamline your process. You know, what she worked on for decades, she wasn't able to get that growth the way she has with us in just a few months. So if Krissy can do it, you can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. But you got to raise your hand and you got to meet us. You got to meet us halfway. So go ahead and go to the link that I'll put in this video, and I'll put it in the comments in the description of this video. Click now, save your spot, get the bonuses, and start on module 1. Our next group call is Tuesday morning, and so 9 a.m. Pacific. So go get this taken care of. The doors close Monday at midnight Pacific Standard. Don't miss out on this. You do deserve this. So Krissy, thank you for being here and being so vulnerable and brave and courageous and sharing. And I'm glad you jumped and you took this stretch. And I'm excited to see what's going to open up from this. So thank you so much.
I agree. Thank you.
Okay, everybody, we will see you soon. Bye.